Welcome to Next Genius webinars. And today we have Paresh from CEO Acquest Advisors to talk about immigration options. And we will also be able to learn more about permanent residency in different countries along with the various benefits. Welcome, Paresh, to Next Genius webinars.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Moving on to questions about permanent residency and also the immigration options. Paresh, why do you think we need to find immigration options for our kids who want to study abroad?
Well, Helen, as you know, we are living in a very different world today. See, earlier it was very easy for somebody to go overseas for education. After completing the studies, take up a job. Once they have a job, apply for a work permit or a H-1B visa, and thereafter apply for permanent residency and get one. But nowadays, as you know, things are becoming very difficult. Firstly, it is very, very difficult to get a job after completing your studies, especially if you are not from the STEM category. Thereafter, even if you manage to get a job, you have to be really very lucky to get the work permit, especially in the US. We all know what is happening with H-1B. It is a lottery system now, and you have to be really lucky to get the H-1B visa. Now, even after you get the H-1B visa, the path to green card or permanent residency is very long and uncertain thereafter. You have to wait for 8 to 10 years or even more to get permanent residency. So that's the reason why, it's become very uncertain. So if we want to secure the future of our children who are going overseas for education, we need to work towards a plan whereby they get a permanent residency and they can continue to stay there after completing their education. Another reason why one should look at getting permanent residency earlier now, is the tuition fee benefit. So you can save a lot on the tuition fee if you are a permanent resident of a particular country.
Got it, Paresh. Now, moving on to the next question, that is, how can green card help a student in getting better job after their overseas education?
Yeah. So, before we jump on over there, let me talk more about what are the tuition fee benefits available. Now, like I said, it is one of the biggest benefit that you can get by applying for permanent residency earlier is savings in tuition fees. Now, when you apply over there for education as an international student, you have to pay substantially higher fees. The fees applicable to local residents, is almost 1/3 to 1/5. Now, which is applicable to international students. Let me give you an example. If you're going to University of Toronto, and let's say you want to do an undergrad in computer science, the fees for international students is approximately 65,000 Canadian dollars a year. So multiply this into 4 years of graduation program, it comes to about 260,000 Canadian dollars over 4 years. Now, the fees for local residents, that means if you are a permanent resident of Canada, then the fees are approximately 13,000 Canadian dollars a year. So you will spend only about 60,000, which means there is a savings of 2 lakh Canadian dollars over a period of 4 years over a child. Now, if you have 2 children, then the savings will be double. So for 2 children's education, if you plan it well, you can save almost 4 lakh Canadian dollars only on undergrad. The benefits for doing masters is even more thereafter. Right now, answering your next question of how else can that permanent residency help the children in getting a better job. Now, obviously, if you are a local resident, you get opportunity to participate in the placement and you can get picked up by companies. Nowadays, very few companies are ready to pick up foreign students because they are not sure whether the students will be able to get the sponsorship, whether they will be able to get the work permit, and whether they will continue. So the best jobs are available during placements. And if you can participate in the placement and you have in an open category where companies are free to come and select you, you have a much wider chance of getting a better job and getting selected by a top company.
Thank you, Paresh. Now, the next question is, what are the other benefits of getting permanent residency for a student when going abroad?
Yeah, the other benefits from a career point of view are, of course, that if after taking up a job, you have a more flexibility in moving in your career. You can switch over jobs more easily. You are not at the mercy of your employer who has given you a work permit. So that's the big advantage. Second advantage is, again, you are not confined to taking up jobs. You are free to start your own business or profession. And nowadays, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. We have seen students graduating, coming out of college and wanting to start up their own company. So the permanent residency will allow you to do that in the country. This is another advantage. Then, of course, you have other benefits like healthcare benefits. If you're a permanent resident, you get free or concessional healthcare. You will get citizenship. With the citizenship comes a powerful transport, which will passport, which will help you to travel freely across the world. So these are various other benefits of permanent residency.
Thank you so much for telling us the numerous benefits of getting permanent residency. Now, can you tell us when is the best time to work towards permanent residency or start applying?
Yeah, I think the best time to start applying for permanent residency is when your child is in grade 9th or 10th, maybe even earlier. And the reason for this is, under permanent residency process for any country will usually take about anywhere between 2 to 3 years. So when your child is in, let's say, in grade 9th, you start planning at that point of time. So by the time he's ready to go overseas for undergrad, he will already have permanent residency. And if he has permanent residency, he gets tuition fee benefits, and you can save a lot on money. Plus, another benefit is, if you are a permanent resident of a country, you are falling for international students. There are limited seats available, and there is a lot of competitions for those seats. Whereas if you are a local, if you fall under the local category, you have a better chance of getting admission into a university. So these are the two biggest advantages of starting the process now at an early stage.
And how long does it take to get the PR?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it takes anywhere, if you are talking about US, in US, it could take you about 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years. And when it comes to Canada, again, it takes approximately that much time. And for UK, it will take you about 3 years, about 3+ years. And Europe, depending upon which country, which program you're opting, it will take you about 5 to 6 years.
Got it, Paresh. Now, which country, when we are comparing the different countries, as you just said right now, in which country is it the easiest to get permanent residency?
Well, there are two categories where, when it comes to permanent residency. One is you can get permanent residency through investments. The other is through business immigration. Now, the investment route is usually very easy. All you have to do is invest money. Like, for example, in case of US, I think most of the kids want to go to US, and the US immigration program is called EB-5, is one of the most popular immigration program currently. Under this program, all you need to do is invest 500,000 US dollars in a business, or either directly or indirectly. Most of the people prefer to invest it indirectly because it's a passive investment. You just invest the money is deployed, somebody else is working on the money, and you get the permanent residency. So this is one of the easiest way of getting permanent residency. Similarly, when you come to Europe, if you are talking about Europe, there are many countries which have golden visa. We have countries like Portugal, Greece, Spain, etc. So among all these programs, the Portugal Golden Visa program is the most popular program because you just have to invest money in buying a property. You can directly go to Portugal, you can select the property, you can buy it, invest in it, and hold on to it till you get your permanent residency or citizenship. The second condition is that Portugal, in case of Portugal Golden Visa, you are not required to go and move into Portugal immediately. All you need to do is spend just 7 days a year or 14 days in a block of 2 years. So you can just invest your money in a property over there, continue to stay in India with your affairs, and you are creating an option for the future to take up a citizenship over there. Now, when it comes to countries like Canada and UK, there essentially the route is through business immigration. So you need to move over there, you need to invest in a business, you need to run the business over there, and only after that you will get a permanent residency.
Thank you so much, Paresh. Now, the next question is, we talked about students, how can they get PR right before moving to the countries? What about parents or the whole family? How can they get permanent residency in the country?
Yeah. So good thing about all this permanent residency program is that it covers the entire family. By family, I mean it is the husband, wife, and children. And when it comes to children, there are different age categories. For instance, in case of the US EB5 program, it covers children who are below 21 years of age. When it comes to Canada, it covers children below 22 years of age. When it comes to UK, they cover children up to 18 years of age. And when it comes to Europe, in case of Portugal Golden Visa, it's far more flexible. You can even cover, children who are beyond 22 years of age. You can cover your parents as well as grandparents also. So different countries have different criteria, but mostly, yes, this is the immediate family is covered.
Great. Is there an age limit for applying for the PR?
Well, not for the US and not for the US, the Europe programs, but the business immigration programs, depending upon the program which you're going for, they do have some age limit.
Got it. Could you tell us more about like how can the entire family move after getting the permanent residency?
Well, it depends upon the need of the family. Once you get a permanent residency, you have a right. See, permanent residency is kind of a privilege which is being offered by a particular country to you. They're giving you a privilege that you can come and become a resident of that particular country. So they expect you, most of the countries, they expect you to live in that particular country after you get permanent residency. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to go and live over there or not. If you do not continue to live over there, if you do not meet certain requirements, then there is a possibility that you may lose your permanent residency. So you need to plan it well. You need to decide whether you will be able to spend times over there. Maybe if father and mother both are not in a position to go, then at least, let's say, the mother goes over there and stays with the child while they complete their education. Both of them can get permanent residency, while father may continue to be in India and they can keep on traveling, up and down. And even it becomes much easier for the father to get permanent residency once the mother is over there, and they can always sponsor it. So there are different ways in which we can work around this flexibility.
Right. So it's all about personal decisions and it's a personal choice.
Absolutely.
Paresh, could you briefly let us know or tell us how you work on this for different countries?
Yeah. So we specialize in, to tell you something about our company, we are immigration consultants based out of Mumbai. We have an office in BKC as well as in suburbs, and we have other offices spread across India. And my background is I'm essentially a chartered accountant, and I have worked in banking and financial services for more than a decade. And I have experience on real estate as well as taxation, finance, and investment banking side. So the way we go about is our approach to immigration planning is similar to financial planning. We try to determine what is the objective of our clients, why they want to go over there. Many times clients come to us that I want to go to, Canada, or I want to go to Portugal. But when they sit down and we start a discussion, we realize that that may not be the best option for them. We go into the deeper further. We encourage our clients. We always tell our clients that, look, don't look at which country you want to go now. Don't ask us questions, which is the easiest way to go, which is the cheapest way to go. You decide where you want to go, where do you see yourself and your family in a particular country. If you are looking at comparing US with UK, see yourself, where do you see yourself 10 years from now in UK? See yourself, where do you see 10 years from now in US? Where do you see your children? And based on that, you take a decision. Once you decide in which country it is better for you and your family, we are there to suggest you what are the various ways in which you can move over there. So deciding the primary objective of why you're moving over there, understanding the needs of the clients, and helping the clients to discover their needs and also what is good for them is the first step in our entire process. Then, of course, we advise them on various investment options. Given our background in banking and finance, we advise them on the best options available. And we guide them, we take them through, handle them through the entire process, provide the information, and help them to selecting the right vehicle for achieving their investment objective. Apart from them, we also help them on various other aspects. It involves, immigration is not an easy process. It involves decisions on remitting money outside India. So you have to follow the RBI guidelines. You have to ensure that you follow the process, you make the necessary disclosures, so that in future, if you have any income tax queries or you have queries from the bank, from RBI, etc., you are in a position to explain what exactly you have done and how you have followed the process to the T. So these are the things that we undertake. Another important part, whenever you are taking a permanent residency and investing overseas, is you need to prove how have you earned the money. You have to show the source of funds. And in some cases, like US EB-5 program, it requires detailed presentation and auditing of your bank accounts to see, to show to the authorities how you have earned the money. So it requires a lot of accounting and auditing aspect as well. Also, again, when it comes to business immigration, an important aspect of business immigration is presenting a proper business plan and getting it approved by the authorities. So that's where we step in. We help you in presenting the right bill, preparing the right business plan, and getting the same approved by the authorities. So there are multiple ways in which we help our clients.
Superb. Thank you so much, Paresh. And with that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.